A very good evening to one and all present here. I, Dr. Hina Merchant, Executive Committee member of the IPS Western Zonal Branch and the EC Coordinator of the Women's Psychological Mental Health Committee, welcome you all today for this very interesting debate, which is on DINK couple. We all know what it is, but it would be very interesting to hear from both our speakers about this relatively new concept that we are seeing nowadays in our clinical practice. Joining us today is Dr. Umesh Nagapurkar, the IPS Western Zonal Branch President. So may I please request you to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you, Hina. Being a very active EC member of our West Zone, I congratulate you on selecting such a interesting and novel topic for discussion. And I congratulate Women's Psychological Health Subcommittee, Khyati, Nimisha, Dipti Bhatt, and Hina for organizing this. And I'm sure that it is going to be a very interesting discussion because nowadays I have seen in last few years many couples who are in a way DINK. They decide themselves beforehand, before getting married, that they won't have any kids. So that is, I think, a catching trend, and it would be interesting to know both the viewpoints. And I wish all the best. Discussions today, Trupti, Dipti Shah, and moderator Khyati. I think it is going to be very interesting. And I hope everyone enjoys this. Thank you, Hina. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We also have with us our Vice President, President-elect of the IPS Western Zonal Branch, Dr. Neena Sawant, Madam. Madam, may I please request you to also say a few words?
Yeah, good evening, Hina, and thank you for organizing this very interesting topic today. As everybody is eager to hear about DINK couples, I would say yes, concept is there since the last, 10, 15 years. First, we would say, okay, one kid is okay. And, from the trend from 3 kids, 2 kids to single kids. And now it is no kids. Enjoy life, live for yourself. And yes, though we have this me time, I would really like to know from our experts what would be the psychological effects on the DINK couple. And that would be interesting to see, and probably maybe the psychosocial aspect of it, we will also encounter in the next decade as we'll get more and more couples who probably are having sequelae of DINK. So yes, all the very best to the Women's Psychological Health Committee, which is doing great work. And Khyati and Dipti are all eager to run more and more programs under, what shall I say, Taskmaster Hina. So all the best to the committee. And yes, we are eager to hear our experts speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Neena ma'am. We also have with us our Honorary General Secretary, Dr. Dhananjay Ashturkar. Dr. Dhananjay, can you please also say a few words?
Thank you, Hina. As ma'am and Umesh sir has said, it is a very interesting topic. First of all, I congratulate and always have a great association in last 3 years with the Women's Psychological Health Committee, Khyati, Dipti, Nimisha, and EC Coordinator Hina. The topic, today's topic is, I think, who is the brainchild of this topic? Khyati? Oh, great. It's a very unusual topic. Something, we are discuss live-in relationship, DINK couple, but that is more in the social aspect. But we don't think that will be any psychological issues along with that. And I think in any relationship, maybe love marriage, arranged marriage, live-in relationship, or even in DINK coupleship, woman has to suffer more, woman has to sacrifice more. And this is the very much interesting aspect we have to learn from both aspect of this relationship, positive and negative also. So I congratulate you all. I really thanks to Dr. Umesh Nagapurkar sir for giving all support, and Dr. Neena Sawant madam for her always been supportive. Thank you very much, and I am very much eager to
Thank you.
listen the debate. Thank you, Hina.
Thank you, Dhananjay. I think the stage is set now, and it's my honor and privilege to introduce our both speakers for today. Our first speaker for today, who would be speaking for the topic, is Dr. Trupti Patel. She's a private consultant psychiatrist. She has been practicing in the last 15 years. She is an author. She's very enthusiastic. She's a social worker and a co-founder of a healthy crying club. She loves taking lectures on psychiatric awareness on various platforms. And presently, she's focusing on women's mental health, relationships, work-life balance, marital and suicide prevention. I welcome you, Dr. Trupti Patel. And our second speaker for the day, who is going to be speaking against the topic, is Dr. Dipti Shah. Dipti is a director of Grooming Minds, which is a super specialty brain center based in Mumbai. Dipti heads a child guidance clinic with a team of clinical psychologists, occupational therapists, remedial teachers, and speech therapists. She heads the Sulabha Center for Autism. She has had many awards and honors to her credit. She has received the Times Healthcare Achievers Award in 2018 for her exemplary work in the field of mental health. And she has also received the Kutch Ratna Award in the year 2017 for her community service. She has authored many books on public awareness, on mental health, on varied topics like schizophrenia, depression, panic disorder, psychosomatic illness, stress management. To me, Dipti is a very good friend. I welcome you, Dipti and Trupti. I cannot tell you how eager we are to hear from both of you as you start this debate. And now to finally introduce our moderator for the day, Dr. Khyati Metalia. She is a dear friend. She is my batchmate. She is currently the advisor of our Women's Psychological Mental Health Subcommittee. She is a leading practitioner, having a practice of more than 2 decades in Ahmedabad. She's the founder and owner of Sakhi, which primarily deals with women's mental health and a child guidance clinic. Khyati has numerous publications, and Khyati is like the celebrity, is our local celebrity from Gujarat. And she has featured on various TV channels and various newspapers and is continuously doing work in the field of women's and child mental health. I invite you, Khyati, and I hand over the session to you.
Thank you so much, Hina. Only thing I would like to cancel one of the statement. I am not a celebrity. Okay, so coming to the topic, like gone are the days when the existence of a woman was just limited to 4 walls of the house. Today, she has stood out and made her place among all the professions. And we all know that the women have reached the moon too just recently. Now, having children is a very biological, fundamental, fulfilling, and enriching experience. But at the same time, it makes a woman's life revolve around the children fully, which is preventing her from reaching to the fullest of her potential. So now the question is, should a woman sacrifice her career, ambitions, dreams in order to give way to her maternal instincts? Or should she abide to her biological function of becoming a mother and bringing up the children while compromising or limiting her career? This question still does not have any definitive answer. It's a personal choice for every woman. But today, let us try to find the answer. So the topic of today's debate is, being a DINK couple good for a woman or not? My friend Hina has already introduced our speakers, Dipti and Trupti. Trupti is for the motion, Dipti is against the motion. So before starting the debate, let's have a Zoom poll where you have to vote either for or against the motion. Now first, you will be voting, then you will be listening to both the speakers, and after that, we vote again to see whether the views have changed or not. So the speaker who will have maximum number of changed votes, like votes to her side increased, will be the winner. I hope I am clear. Aditya?
How to vote?
Yeah. Yes, Sananjay?
How to vote?
Yeah, there is a Zoom poll. Aditya, can you start the Zoom poll?
What is the motion?
Motion is being in a DINK couple is good for women.
Okay, is it good or is it
Yeah.
against?
There are 59 participants, but I think only 36 have answered.
It's not yes, no, it should be partly yes, partly no, actually. Both yes and no.
Of course, ma'am, we know that, but when it's a debate, you have to choose one
I
side.
know that.
Come on, we are waiting. 37 has voted. Still, I think 18 people remaining for voting.
I think Dr. Nupur has written in the chat box that she's not able to answer a yes or a no. Maybe Nupur, you can just type your answer in the chat box if you're having some difficulty with the Zoom link.
No, I think she's confused. She cannot take a side. That what she wants.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
so
much.
these
Maybe after debate that will be cleared. I think.
Oh, she has replied. She has written yes, sir.
Yes. But I am against.
So let us see how Trupti influences you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so now while so 45 have voted, I guess we can move forward with that. So Trupti, just before you start, I would like to make clear some of the ground rules. Like there will be 8 minutes for both the participants for initial talk. After that, there would be a rebuttal for 5 minutes. Like both the participants will be getting a chance. And then I think I would ask each of you to have a final statement, just last statement. And then we declare the winner after again the second poll. Okay? So right now we are having 13 for and 33 against. So now over to Trupti.
Yeah.
No, you're not audible.
Trupti, you have not joined your audio. Kathy, I think you have to call her to connect. She has not joined her audio.
Okay, I'm calling her.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Now, Kathy?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Just a minute. I try something else.
No, you were audible, Trupti. You can go on.
Now am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and we are starting. So
Yeah.
8 minutes from now, start.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank for choosing this topic. I'm going to speak for dating couples. Why not having a child and having a double income as a couple, as a choice in your marriage is advantages. So I would like to, yeah, so I don't have an PPT because my child wasn't well. He had dengue the last week, and then my mother had it, and then she wasn't there to pick him up, and I was just a couple of minutes, I was in the lift, and that's why this little hassle. So welcome to the world of having kids. um, what do you all want? What do we really want from life? Okay, I think we want dreams, and it's the mnemonic of today's argument. So D stands for dreams and goals. A few research center analysis in 2020, it says that 44% of women who didn't have children had a bachelor's degree as opposed to just 29% of the moms. So we know that, and on top of that, they were more career advanced, they had more promotions, and they reported more satisfaction during work. Okay, which I think the mothers don't have because half of their mind is into what's happening with the kid. The maid is not taking the kid out there for begging and all. We've seen those headlines. R stands for the R in dream stands for relationship and love. A social, psychological, and personality science study states that families with without children, okay, so DINK couples have a higher satisfaction level in marriage. Okay. Also, a national survey of families reports that couples have less fights, they have less marital stress, and they report more satisfaction and understanding with each other as a DINK couple. E stands for experiences and adventures. Yes, they have double income and they splurge it on trips. A study done by AARP, it reports that 23% of couples, DINK couples, went for 3+ trips around a year as opposed to couples like us who manage one trip. Okay, it was just 11%. A stands for autonomy and freedom. Of course, when you have so much time and you don't have responsibilities, you invest it more in personal growth, in learning new skills and having hobbies. So it has been reported that DINK couples, and also according to an article in Economic Times and also Bombay Times, DINK couples are not just splurging their money; they are also very social consciousness is there, and they are investing this income in more sustainable way and trying to make a social impact, like a couple who is taking care of 3 children, like a couple who opened a NGO with their extra income and they are serving children. M stands for money and luxury. Of course, we all want money, and it has been reported that DINK couples have 40% more income, median income, okay, who didn't have children, as opposed to other couples who had children less than 18 years. So it was a US Bureau Labor Statistics study of 2020 that reports this. S stands for satisfaction and less stress. Yes, children are very stressful to bring up, and you just notice I couldn't make my PPT. I was driving while the session was on, bringing him from a class. So they have reported psychological science journal reports a study in which they found that the daily stress levels of parents with children was higher than DINK couples, and the daily happiness score, when it was done on a scale of 0 to 6, it was 3.29 in DINK couples as opposed to 2.29 in couples with children. So this is about the advantages. लेकिन हम ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं, we can also say कि what happens when children are there. Okay, so this is the way they shatter some of your dreams. It is also a mnemonic I'm using for dreams. So D is for dispute. Very few countries around the world have this act, which was brought in 2007. It's the Maintenance and Welfare of Parents Senior Citizen Act. It was amended in 2013, in which you can legally held responsible to your kids for not supporting you. even if you have given all the wealth, you have distributed all the property, you can reclaim it. So see where we are heading with having children. Okay, we have to amend laws where we have to ask children to support us legally, in the court. And we know through headlines that these cases are not just in in print; they are actually happening. R stands for rejection. So Helpage India conducted a study of 7,000 senior couples, and 79% of them reported that their children don't give them time. Guys, by 2030, one in six people would be elderly persons, and that's why we need to focus on these statistics as well. The top 5 wishes of elderly parents were that their children should be polite to them, they should give time to them, they should listen to whatever they say, even if it's repeatedly the same thing, they should take them to their favorite places. And
Trupti, you are muted. Trupti, unmute yourself.
yeah, there was a call.
Yeah.
So E stands for, D was dispute, R was rejection, E stands for expenses. Guys, bringing up a child is no longer a luxury which our grandparents had. My grandmother had 16 children, of which 6 survived. So expenses in today's world, April 2017, they estimated that.
Trupti, 7 minutes. So now last minute.
Yeah. So expenses is, you need 2 crores rupees to bring a child till the age of 21 years. 30 lakhs is the average fees. A is for abuse. Okay. 46% of elderly people are abused by their parents, by their children, but they are afraid to report it. M is for marital stress. Guys, once a child comes, the marital stress increases, the relationship satisfaction level goes down, and we know that the highest chances of extramarital affairs happen during the first pregnancy when the baby goes to the mica. S, I will keep for the rebuttal, but the last, yes, I'll keep the last S for my rebuttal session. This is what I want to conclude, that having children will give you will shatter a lot of your dreams, but not having them will give you a lot of space for having dreams, relationship, experiences, freedom and autonomy, money and satisfaction. Okay. ना रहेगा बांस ना बजेगी बांसुरी, इस कहावत के साथ I end this debate for having a DINK lifestyle. It's a choice that 2 people make, and I think as a society we shouldn't judge them, and it is not judging because hashtag DINK lifestyle has got 33 million likes around the world. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So Trupti has beautifully expressed herself. Now it's the turn of Dipti. Dipti, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself.
I would like to share my screen.
Yeah.
Is that visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the outset, let me thank the Women's Psychological Health Subcommittee for having invited me here today for this wonderful topic and discussion and debate. And I think, Trupti, you put across your points wonderfully. So congratulations. Before I start, a disclaimer. I consider myself superly satisfied, happy, fairly successful professional who is the mother of a young adult. Yes, as Trupti helped us understand, even the happiness research across the world is showing that having children doesn't tend to make people happier. It might even make them less happy. But even so, why do so many people do it? Why would people have more than one child after the supposed misery brought by their first? And most puzzling of all, why would evolution produce a disincentive to procreate? While we are pondering on these questions, let me narrate to you a real life story about a colleague who has been very close to me. She's worked with me for more than 10 years. She married her college sweetheart, and they had decided that they are not going to have a child because they had gone through a lot of family issues before they got married. And they were happy that they are there for each other and didn't want a child. So about 3 years, they were, doing all that a DINK couple does, going for exotic vacations, going for parties, spending their money over bungee jumping and other adventurous activities. They were doing all this with another couple who had a dog. So we have the DINK WAD, right? DINK couples with a dog, right? So they started falling in love with the dog, and they felt that they were missing something in their life. And so they decided to adopt a dog, probably an easier way of probably taking care of your maternal instincts. So while they had a dog, they were doing everything, spending their energy, time, they vaccinating, training, and they realized that the amount of energy and time that they were spending with a dog would be almost the same as it would take for them to care for a child. And they realize now that they are capable of having a child based on their experiences with the dog. So 3 years down the line, they decided to have a child. And now they are what we call as DISC, double income single kid couple. And this child is now 6 years old, and they're already contemplating about adopting another child. So based on this story, coming back to our questions, maybe happiness is one aspect, but does having a child give you something much more deeper than that? A study by social psychologist Roy Baumeister and his colleagues found that the more time people spent taking care of children, the more meaningful their life was, even though they reported their life was no happier. Raising children has an uncertain connection to pleasure, but may connect to other aspects of a life well lived, satisfying our hunger for attachment, for meaning and purpose. Having a kid makes you a better person. You get to see the world anew. You start enjoying the cartoons and the superhero movies once again. You become much more patient, I'm sure about that. You swear a lot less in public. Obviously, you have a role model image now that you have to maintain. You are a bit less stupid with money because you have to save for the kids' future. You become a safer driver and do things more safely as compared to what you were before having kids. You meet more interesting people. You appreciate your own parents more. Let's understand another aspect of DINK. DINK was a concept which originated in the advertising community. It was first mentioned in the Wall Street Journal. As there were couples who were having double income but not having kids, the finance institutions realized that they have more income at disposal to invest in their companies. The luxury brands also understood that this money can be used to market their luxury brands to these couples. And that's when they started writing a lot about DINK couples. In fact, if you Google DINK, you are going to see most of the articles which are written by finance companies. And I was wondering, why am I getting these kinds of articles rather than psychologists writing about it? We are all bitten by the social media bug. So we see all our friends going to parties, going for exotic vacations, doing adventure sports and doing things that they love. And we feel that this is the trend. This is how we are supposed to live life and enjoy life. So DINK, is it a trend or is it a wise decision? Is it a choice made out of fear, whether I will be able to be a good mother, whether I'll be able to raise a healthy and happy child, or is it really a deep desire to not have children? We also now know about GINK, that is the Green Inclination No Kid community. However, a young mother says, if everyone who cares about the world stopped having kids, the world would be even scarier. In fact, we know so many countries, European countries, China, where the governments are worried that they don't have enough young population to look after the older population. We don't need less newer generation. We need to teach the new generation of people to make the world a better place. So to conclude, DINK as a general life decision is a shallow concept marketed by the finance and luxury market industry, glorified by the social media, a decision taken out of fear and not deep desire. It is a choice for couples only when they have thought through deeply about the meaning, purpose, and satisfaction of life. Motherhood is a bumpy, tiring road, as Trupti has just experienced. But when you reach the summit, you wouldn't want to replace it with anything simpler. I equate it to my journey to becoming a psychiatrist. When I started the road, my 11th, 12th grade, my early days of MBBS, it belonged to, very long nights, studies all the time, missing out on social functions, missing out on all the fun that my friends in the engineering and the commerce colleges were having. Residency had its own challenges, but I think I will never want to replace that with an easier profession or an easier study way of doing things. Motherhood and mother and the child, the experience that they have, is something which words cannot describe. And I think you have to go through the experience to understand. Thank you so much for a patient hearing, and I end my presentation.
Yeah. So Dipti completed her presentation in less than 7 minutes. Now we go for a rebuttal. So what Trupti has to say, you have got 5 minutes.
Yeah. So a few points that I had missed already have been covered by Dipti, that it does bring unhappiness. I think we would have liked if you have supported your data with some scientific facts rather than a story of a couple and just, how having children make people better. Are there any studies? I would like to know first. Second, it's not, if you say that it is a decision taken from fear, I would say that it should then be not taken till that fear is not gone. Okay, because a mother who is fearful is going to project it will showcase in the attachment styles she would have with her child. And I think that it is all the more necessary then that we educate people about parenting and then make them get rid of this fear. Maybe, the couple in your story should thank that dog which made their fear let go. And DINK is a choice. Okay, it's not a shallow trend. It's a choice that two people are making about their life. Okay, I cannot tell you that you have to have one girl also after a boy. Okay, or I cannot tell you that no, you should not have one child. You should have two child. How do we frown on that? Okay, it's exactly the same with having no child. It's a choice of a couple. Okay. Third is that when yes, third is that when you said that how scarier this world would be if every woman chooses this. It's not a choice of a woman, mind you. It's a choice of a couple. Okay, and a couple who is not letting a child come in this world whom they wouldn't be able to look after is in fact making the place a healthier even making the world a healthier place than making it a place where old age homes are coming up, where there is an amendment in an act where parents can sue their children for not taking care. The world is already scarier, ma'am. And my S is the suicide rate in children between 15 to 30 years. It is the number one cause of death in the youth of our country. Our country is the most youthful country on in the entire planet, and our children are dying from a preventable condition, that is suicide. Why is it happening like that? Because we are bringing children, because my sasuma is telling, because my age is too much. You can always freeze your eggs and have children when you want them. I'm not, just because the society keeps asking, क्या है, कब good news दे रहे हो, कब हो गया, अभी 3 साल हो गया, अभी भी तुम enjoy ही कर रहे हो. So all these kind of societal pressures are making parents to bring children in this world. And my end is this anecdote from a Mumbai businessman, Raphael Samuel, who has a page, Nihil Anand karke, and he sued his lawyer parents for not taking his consent before bringing him in this world. And he said, because it was not my decision, now you are obliged to pay for my entire existence. Okay. Now, the mother, being clever, she was a lawyer indeed, she replied that if I knew how to take your consent, I would accept my fault. This reflects the anti-natalism philosophy, which says that if this world is such a miserable place, why bring people here and make their lives also miserable. So even if we stop procreating, okay, we are not stopping procreating. It's not a trend, it's a choice, it's a healthy choice, just like a choice that you made about having a single kid. Okay, so or someone made about having 3 children. Someone is making about not having a children. Why judge them? Why debate that it's not good? You know, if that couple is happy not having a child, let that happy couple spread more happiness around them. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Dipti's turn.
Thank you, Trupti. So, yeah, I think your points are well taken. I think in my presentation itself, I mentioned that being DINK is a choice which should be taken with a very, very thoughtful insight into what decisions you are making. Unfortunately, the choice is these days not influenced by deep thinking, but influenced by things around you, which may not be very reality based. As I mentioned, the social media trends and what goes on. And I think if we interact with the younger generation or the younger couples, we find them that there isn't a deep, insightful thought process which makes them decide to not have children, but it is more the trend and more the influence of the social media based on which they decide. As regards the old age homes, I think with not having kids, the number of old age homes are definitely going to increase. So I don't think that point is anyways valid. It's just going to increase because there'll be no families to look after their old age parents. But anyways, I don't believe that any young couple has kids with the idea that they're going to look after in this generation, with the idea that they're going to look after them in their old age. So I don't think that is a concept these days. And I think biologically, if you look across all the species, no species looks after their parents. All the species are procreated and then they live their own life. So I don't think anybody is looking at that aspect. It is about the sense of satisfaction. It is about the sense of meaning and purpose that you get out of your life. So that is what I think is more important. And a deep, insightful thinking before making a choice, which is not the way biology and society has worked for so many years. If you're making a choice which is against that, I think it should be a very deep, insightful thought process which should lead to that choice.
Okay, so are you done, Dipti?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, so now I would like to invite 2 questions for each of you from the audience. I think in the chat box there are many.
So am I supposed to read them by myself or are you going to ask them?
No, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, there are many questions, so
that's nice.
Okay, there is one by Dr. K.K. Mishra, sir. Dr. Patel, do you have any evidence how happy the DINK couples are happy with the decision on the long run?
Sir, this term was coined in 1978 by a journalist in an article in, I think, the Wall Street or Times magazine. I'm at loss at the detail, but it is a trend that is more only since last 10 to 15 years. The studies that I mentioned do report that there is less stress, there is more happiness, daily happiness score is more, they have more disposable incomes at their hand, there is more marital satisfaction, there is also more satisfaction with respect to career and with respect to, sorry, I need some help here, with respect to freedom to decide how to live their life. So I think in the long term, a life where you get to live all your dreams shouldn't be a very bad one. Okay, at least I don't know about the long run, but at least they wouldn't have to use the Senior Citizen Act. They wouldn't have to need to face the abuse and rejection at their hands. And maybe the way the suicide rates are increasing, yes, the pain of losing a child wouldn't be definitely not be in their or the stress of taking them to a psychiatrist wouldn't really be some of the things that would be bothering them. Emptiness syndrome or not having children around to take care are still going to be common problems of even people having children. So without children and with good happiness, with less stress, with good income, with good well lived life full of dreams, I think in long term also it should serve them well.
Okay, one more question to Trupti. Dr. Nupur has asked, Dr. Shra has asked, and before that, yeah, not giving birth is not a solution for suicide. There are many other causes and psychological aspects. So your comment on that, Trupti.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that look at the age bracket where suicides are maximally happening. So it is 15 to 29 years. Actually, it's 14 to 29 years of age group. The cause of death, the number one cause of death is suicide today. It says something. Don't you think there is something to do with even parenting there? That aspect I was highlighting. That if we don't know how to take care of children, if we don't, and I think all of us are seeing in our OPDs, the problems that children are facing today, and the number of hours we have to spend teaching parents how to handle those things, the number of Insta accounts there are on how to parent children has increased. The families are shrinking. So my comment was on that the age group in which suicides are occurring maximally as a number one cause of death, it might have something to do with parenting. And that's why if we don't, we haven't yet learned how to take care of children or recognize their depression or anxiety in early phase. I think it's a comment on our inadequate parenting. If we're not and if we're not adequate parents, I think it's good not to have children rather than have them and then turn him into a statistic before he turns 30.
Yeah, so now there are other questions as well, but we'll be taking two for Dipti. Yeah, so Swarup Bhatankar has asked, what about women who are stuck in unhappy marriages or broken marriage or early demise of the spouse and have kids which are the driving force for the existence and survival? So this is a question to Trupti or Dipti, or just a comment?
I think it's to Dipti, na?
I think they're agreeing. I mean, they're agreeing with what I'm saying, and I'm agreeing with what they are saying. So I don't know what is their answer, because I think they are talking against DINK, right? They're talking that the children are the driving force for marriage, when marriage itself is not a very stable institute in a certain person's life. And I completely agree that having a child can really have a lot of advantages, and this is one of them. Where if other things in your life are not going well, the child does give you a lot of inspiration, motivation. In fact, as I have been reading on DINK, there have been a lot of comments and articles that I have been reading, and there one mother said that I am able to focus on the here and now because I want to make life beautiful for my child, and that takes me away from all the stress that is around me. So having a child does give you a positive approach towards life. So I think
yeah,
I think I would like to mention something here, to the entire audience.
In very brief.
That DINK is a concept, okay? It's a choice that a couple is making. It is not that they are making a decision that they'll never have a child. Okay, they are making a decision that they'll have a child when they want to have it, not when the society wants it to have. Okay, you guys are all you're not clear with the concept. It's not like you are choosing to be childless your entire life. We don't know what will happen, when they would want to have. Maybe after a dog they feel more confident and they have a kid.
Yeah,
so
fine.
Yes.
Okay, so
it's
another
not a childless choice, like we're talking about motherhood and procreation. No.
Yeah,
Certain
another.
couples don't want kids, and we are not
Okay, Trupti. Now it's Dipti's turn. Yeah, so the Dipti Bhatt is asking, I think to Dipti Shah. The choice might be of couple, but mostly it is the woman who is at loss of a professional life, passion, etc., etc. So, what would you like to say in that, Dipti?
I think there have been a few couples that I have spoken to in order to get a better insight into this.
Ma'am,
debate.
statistics.
And let me speak Trupti my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So most of them tell me that the decision, even when a couple makes a decision about being DINK, about not having a child, many a times that decision is also coming from the male. The male, the husband in the relationship or the male partner in the relationship is making that decision, whereas the woman biologically does want a child. The woman has the desire to have a child. So I agree and I understand that women may not have a choice many a times, or would not have a very strong way of putting across their opinion in a marriage. But I think at the same time, given an adequate support system, the woman can very well balance a professional and life and a family life. I think most of us here who are women have done it very successfully, and I don't think we need any more statistics than the number of people present here and the women psychiatrists that we have. Most of us have kids, and we are all balancing our family life and our professional life very well, doing a great job. So I think that speaks for itself.
One more question from my side to Dipti. Yes, we all are balancing and doing a great job, but I would say that if there were no kids, then probably I would have been doing much, much, much more than what I'm doing now. Your comments, Dipti, and after that, Dhananjay will be asking something or telling something.
Yeah. So I think again, definitely it comes to the question of a choice. Okay, but I don't think that we would say that the child that you have or the daughter that you have, I don't think you would say that I wish she wasn't around and I regret having a child. In theory, on paper, I think it sounds nice to be DINK, and it just looks like a mathematical equation where we can just say that, okay, ye kam karenge to ye zyada kar payenge. But I think that we can really balance it out. And what is the purpose of our life? Are we looking at that kind of meaning, purpose, and satisfaction? And does that come only by being professionally successful? I think that is an answer that each one of us needs to give ourselves.
Okay, Dhananjay, please unmute yourself and please
Thank you,
on
Kathy.
your video. Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent presentation by both speakers. Especially, I congratulate Trupti because she's, I think she's on challenging role today. I want both of you, Dipti and Trupti, one question. I know that organizers have given you the topic, but what will be your choice personally? In maybe not in this future, in this life, maybe in the next life, to be a DINK or not?
Dhananjay, I think we'll ask this question after the Zoom poll.
Okay, but I really interested to ask
Yeah,
them both,
yeah, yeah.
Trupti and Dipti.
Yeah, definitely. After the Zoom poll, we'll be asking that.
Yes.
So, like when the debate is officially over, then we can ask them.
Sure, sure. But you
Yeah.
are defended well, both of you defended, no doubt.
Yeah, so I think one concluding statement from both, then we'll have a repeat Zoom poll. Trupti.
If you want to live your dreams and not see them shattered one by your children as you age, please make a very, very thoughtful choice, not considering into the societal pressures, not considering anything else other than you both, husband and wife, wanting to really have a child, sacrifice and make sacrifices and turn him into a really good human being for making this earth more better. Thank you.
What a long sentence, Trupti. Okay, so Dipti.
Yeah, I think having a child is biologically and psychologically something that we are designed for. And as a psychiatric community, let's extend our help and support along with the medical fraternity to make parenting a pleasurable experience for all the young couples, and let them have this pleasure of enjoying having a child.
Wonderful,
Okay,
wonderful.
great, great. So now we'll have the Zoom poll again. Like previously there were 13 for, yeah, and for 36 against. I'll just check. And now we'll compare like how many have changed their views after the presentation. So Aditya, we can have the Zoom poll again. Aditya, are you there?
You want me to launch the poll? I can because I'm the co-host.
Yeah,
No,
he has
it has
done
been.
it. He has done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please.
So can I also increase one vote of my own?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
Yes,
voting.
yes, candidate can
you
vote.
can, you can.
No, I'm not voting.
You should vote. Candidate can vote.
I don't know how to vote actually. Okay, yeah, I saw. Okay, yeah, yeah. My vote is obvious. How? I am unable to understand it. Sorry.
So because of
Count
the
my
kids,
one vote.
so
Count
because
my one vote. I
so
am not able to open it.
so till
Yeah,
now 35 have voted. We need more still. At least 46. So people, please vote. Come on. Now what do you feel? Only 35 still. 36. That's great. But at least 14 are for and 22 are against out of 36.
Other must be busy with the children.
or probably I've confused them so much that now they're not able to decide.
Might be in a cooking also. You don't know home rituals. It's 9:13 now.
Yeah, so if you are confusing, then maybe that also will be considered
Yeah, that
as
also should be counted.
changing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But this time I voted for Trupti, yeah, after.
So 37 have voted, and out of that, 15 are for. Previously, out of 46, 13 were for, and now out of 38, 15 are for. So that way, out of 38, 15 now. So we'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll decide the result. 16, that's great. Trupti is leading now.
I think this part should be left, like, it's a little. I think it's a little awkward for everyone to.
I think you can ask people the poll like what you want to be think in a next future life or not.
Pardon?
Because this lifespan has been gone. So next in a future life, next lifetime, do you want a
Okay.
DINK or not?
Okay, so I guess that from 13, the number has increased to 16 for the motion that is favoring Trupti. So we can declare Trupti as the winner. We end the debate officially, and now Dhananjay, you can ask personally both of them, and we would like to listen to them.
Both had did wonderful job. Dipti has mentioned all the positive points of being and that we are experiencing our life now because we have daughters and sons. We are enjoying the lifetime. There is no doubt, and I think in debate there is no winner or loser. Everyone is winner. Everyone
Yes.
can, and one debate cannot change your mind if you got in a process that your experiences, personal life, and that also matter. But I congratulate Trupti for putting in a very positive way another aspect was which we used to consider very negative, and we and thinking that there was, and you have changed my mind. Thank you very much. But what I want both from you, a personal opinion. What are you for this topic or against this topic? Because I know organizers has given you responsibility and fulfilling that. But personally, what you are you for the topic or against the topic?
Your question is to Trupti, right?
Trupti and Dipti also.
Yeah. So we know na Dipti's answer though.
No, it's not like that. Having
No,
personal
I
answer
had
may be
given
different,
the topic to Dipti, so
Yes,
this is not a
organizers has
personal.
given a topic, but you may have a different inclination. You don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Trupti,
So,
share your personal views.
yeah. So it'll be a slightly longer answer. Would it be okay? Only then I'll answer.
Yes. No issues. We have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. He said
Less than
okay.
5 minutes.
Yeah, fine. So, I did my psychiatry after marriage. Okay. So after I had done it and came back, it was already 5 years, and I wasn't getting pregnant. So we went to a doctor and then found out that I had PCOD. Okay. I took treatment for 1.5 years and still no results. So the doctor advised us take a break. Okay. We went to another doctor, no results. So the doctor did a procedure on me and he said, now go home. Hoga to hoga. Okay. And what happened is that I had through those years prepared myself that I am going to be a childless mother, and I was very happy with it. And then one fine day, when I was taking no treatment, I saw those 2 lines. Okay. And I cried on that day because I knew now I would never be the same person. There'll always be an insecurity that there is someone out there whom I love so much, whom I love more than my life, and I had by choice given up on my dreams. Okay, I'm an amazing psychiatrist. I would have made, the number 1 psychiatrist of India. But because of my child and the dedication that I have to my motherhood, in the last 15 years, I have changed my OPD timing 7 times and drastically. Days I've changed hours, I've changed, anything. I don't give a damn to my practice. And there are people who are flying out for me here in India. They're waiting for 7 days till I'm not giving them an appointment. So that is how good I am. ऐसा खुद के मुंह मियाँ मिट्ठू नहीं बनते हैं. But I knew that I would have made a very good psychiatrist, and it was a pain to see, other psychiatrists. I'm a a little narcissistic and competitive person. Love to be at the top. So it is a misery, see less capable people become number 1 and brag about the number of patients they have and all. I'm very happy. I know my worth, so it doesn't affect me. But I would have helped a lot more number of people had I not had a child. I was forced by everyone to have a second child because in amongst our only 3 sisters, we have 5 boys now. They wanted a girl and I was the only card that was left, and I relented very much. Even today, when we bought a new car and told our staff कि आज मिठाई बट रही है, कल बताएंगे कि क्यों बट रही है, and all of them like, madam pregnant hai. So this is how much the society wants people to procreate and want, no one's asking you, what do you want? Yeah, someone would have asked me, I would have said, I'm happy. As a couple, we have made an understanding that we don't want the children and we are going to be very happy. I think our KEM में जो HOD थे, Karmakar sir, he was a childless person. I think he was a gem of a person. He was my role model in those times. I was like, no, I do much better for this society if I don't have a child. And this while my child is bringing me water, I'm signaling him, भाई पानी ला, और यहाँ पे मैं हार रही हूँ, सारा audience वो दीप्ति बहन के साथ है, तो 3 glass पानी पी गई हूँ, but it was brought by my child. So see what I'm using him for.
Trupti Ben, what do you think now?
I wouldn't have a child if I had a choice. I'm a lousy mother with this competitiveness, the way it affects me. Look at me, my presentation. I presented 10 studies in 8 minutes. 10 bhi nahi, I think 12 studies in 8 minutes. That is how perfect I am. So it makes me miserable when I'm not a good mother. Every day 5-6 बार तो sorry बोलती हूँ मैं मेरे बच्चे को. And he also said, I taught him also to say sorry. मतलब lousy mother हूँ. I tell यार किसी अच्छी mother को दे देते, housewife होती, no competitive streak, no perfectionism, बहुत अच्छा, he should have raised my child.
But you are a
Anyway,
best psychiatrist and best mother also, no doubt.
I hope time proves it. You don't know the other details. No, I'm
Okay.
doing good as a child. My child at the age of 4 years, he knew, and he wrote me a letter, 4 or 5 years. I want you to be my mom in the next birth also. I framed it. Like,
Okay.
it is like pure.
Okay, so Dipti.
Dipti?
I believe that I would always have wanted a child, and I have a child, and I'm super proud to be a mother to a very nice daughter. So I think my personal choice is to have a child, and I think it makes me a much better person, a much calmer person, more patient person, and has helped me look at life in a very new perspective, and has made me a much better person. So I think I'm very clear that I wanted a child and I have a child.
It. So organizers has chosen perfect persons for her.
Yes.
Yes. And I say it on stage to parents, if you're not ready, if you're not confident, please don't give in to the pressure of the society and don't have children, because later they are going to help me buy my next car.
Okay, so any
Chalo, I will not pass this question to Hina and Kathy.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, so we would like to have any concluding comments if they want to, our President Sir and Vice President Ma'am. And after that, I'll hand over to Dipti for vote of thanks. Nagapurkar Sir, want to say something?
Yeah, no, it was really wonderful. Very, both the perspectives, I think, were thought-provoking and very interesting. I congratulate the team, and hopefully we will have another interesting session soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Neena ma'am?
Yeah, as Dr. Nagapurkar said, it's a wonderful session, and I think Dhananjay has been all about it. Both our speakers did a wonderful job and presented very lucidly both the sides of the coin, leaving you confused whether you want kids or you don't want kids. And of course, we have to go back to instincts again. But a wonderful job done, and I think a wonderful program again today. Thank you all. And I think it has been a very good evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, before I invite Dipti Bhatt for giving vote of thanks, I would like to thank her personally that her Gujarat Digital Academy of Mental Health Zoom platform we are using in all the women's program. We have been using that. We are not taking help for any farmer. So thanks a lot to Dipti for that. And now Dipti, vote of thanks by you. Dipti, are you there? Yes.
Are you able to listen me now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Khyati. Just sharing that Gujarat Digital Academy for Mental Health is for mental health, and I'm giving an open invitation to everyone who needs to use this. Please ask me anytime. I'll be happy to host the event. And so, for the formal vote of thanks, I want to thank the President of IPS Wisdom, Dr. Umesh sir, Dr. Neena ma'am, who is the Vice President and President-elect, Dhananjay sir, for giving this opportunity of this the whole team who has motivated us to have such programs off and on. I'll also like to thank the speakers. Dr. Deepti, when I just listened to you, I all thought that no, ma'am, you are saying whatever you are saying is right. I am agreeing with you. But when I go back to Trupti, I feel that yeah, I could have been like you know. so so next time when I will plan the Zoom launch, I think I will have a third option of confused, for, against, and confused. So thank you both the speakers. That was wonderful session today. I will also like to thank uh, Tanvi, other team members, Dr. Hina, Dr. Khyati, for organizing all this concept. I think Dr. Hina has come up with this wonderful topic, and she has planned this the session really well. Dr. Tanvi, who has come up with the flyer, Dr. Khyati for moderating, and I'll also like to thank all the audience who has taken active participation. Thank you everyone for being with us, and thank you for taking interest in the women's mental health. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we end the program officially.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening to me.
It was wonderful listening to you and your story.
थैंक यू और वो बेस्ट साइकेट्रिस्ट वाला वो ऐसे ही बोला हाँ मैंने I just felt at home, you know. I just felt at home.
We wish you.
But still you are doing
You
all
know, I just satisfy myself by saying that.
No, but you are taking care responsibility of family and doing all these things, that you are the best person and best psychiatrist.
Thank you for those encouraging words.
Dhananjay,
Sir.
Dhananjay,
this is totally Gujarati show, huh?
Yes,
थोड़े गुजराती बोल दीजिए
Sir, I agree. Jahan Patel and
अरे
Tawfiq
सर
and Merchant
अरे
is
नागापुरकर सर
directing
गुजरात से
from
आता है
there.
वेब जोन में
And Khyati is taking
अरे
care
अरे
of direction. Sir,
गुजरात
it's
आता
totally
है, but
Gujarati show.
The
after
thing is
long
that
time, after long time, I am
Yes.
seeing all Gujarati West Zone members participating very actively,
yeah,
and I
because
am very happy. Yeah.
Hina and
Yeah.
Dipti Shah, even though they are from Mumbai, they are basically
No.
Gujaratis.
Gujarati, yeah.
ए नो ख्याति आई एम हाफ गुजू हाफ सिंधी यार मेरे
ना ना
सिंधी
ना
roots
ना
मत
ना ना
forget कर
ना तू गुजराती तू गुजराती.
No. But she's Maharashtrian now.
But
Yo,
basically
yes,
After
Gujarati.
marriage,
Pandit
after
now.
marriage. No.
Yes, Pandit now. Yeah.
She is Pandit now. She is totally poor core caste Maharashtrian.
Yes. आता आम्ही GSB आहोत.
Yes.
oh.
But Dipti is still Gujarati, see? Dipti Shah.
Very much Gujarati.
Yeah.
Chalo, good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
nice
Thank
time.
you everyone.
Excellent.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Should be like this. It
Yeah.
should be like this in a friendly environment. No doubt.
Yeah.
Trupti,
Okay.
great job. Trupti,
Thank you.
thank you for being
And
here. Great.
thank you, sir. Thank you. And Dipti ma'am, please no hard feelings for whatever
Oh,
comments I would
absolutely
have.
not.
It was
I loved your
just
energy.
in
I
the
loved your
spirit
energy.
of
and it was
debating.
very nice.
It was just in the spirit of debate. I